What's Thanksgiving dinner without dressing or stuffing? And what's the difference? Here to tell us and share an easy cornbread dressing recipe is Jamie Protich from the Front Porch over in Dickson. As always, good to have you back with us and everything. So what's the difference?
Well, technically the difference is dressing is on the side and stuffing is in the turkey.
All right, so what I always thought, but I just wanted to make sure.
In my experience, at least in my family, dressing is what we eat in the South, and stuffing is the stuff that you put nuts and fruits and things like that into. Now, we don't do that to dressing down here.
I'm a dressing kind of guy. So tell me about your recipe.
We're starting off with our homemade cornbread. Now, our cornbread recipe has a cup of sugar optional in it, the one I gave to you guys. I don't want the sugar in my cornbread. Some people do want it a little bit sweeter, so that's up to the individual. So you bake your pan of cornbread first. I recommend homemade because it's just always better. You know, after that, you crumble up your cornbread. You want it super fine. As I said, in my family, dressing has almost no consistency to it. It's just the real fine ground up product. So when I do my onions, I process them in the food processor. Now, someone else may want to chop their onions, you know, to give it a little bit more crunch. Also, at home, I would saute my onions in butter before I added them. Anything you add is going to just be more flavor. Other people might want a little bit of a stronger onion flavor, so they wouldn't saute it. They might skip that step. Once again, the celery, I've ground it in the food processor. It's really super fine, no texture. You know, you want it really super fine. At the restaurant, we grind everything in the food processor, including the cornbread. We also grind that in the food processor. Now, at the restaurant, we also make our own chicken stock. Your flavor is going to come from anything you add to it, and you want to use a quality chicken stock. If you're not going to make your own, buy a good one, because that's where a lot of your flavor comes. The main thing you want to think about when you're making your dressing is if you want to get a dressing that looks like Front Porch dressing and has that same consistency, you want it wet. When you put it into your dish, it's going to look like soup. There's not going to be any solid substance.
And don't worry about the fact that it looks like soup.
Don't worry about it. You're going to bake it for like an hour. It's going to take that long to set up and get into this final product. So you'll add your celery, you add your onions, you add garlic, granulated garlic. You add, if you do dried sage, you do 1.5 teaspoons. If you do fresh sage, you triple that. Because fresh is a lot milder than the dried product, and then a little bit of salt and pepper, and that's going to be kind of to taste. But once
so as you mix that all up and we'll bake it, we'll show you the final product, but tell me about some of the other stuff here.
Well, these are just some of our lunch menu items. We're going to be featuring a fall salad all winter with Brussels sprouts, local butternut squash, roasted apples, and a maple Dijon vinaigrette. We're also doing takeout at the Front Porch. You can buy our pies, pumpkin pies, you can buy our dressing. We're doing a big Thanksgiving takeout, and you pick everything up the day before Thanksgiving by 2 o'clock, and you go home and you have homemade Front Porch food at your family's table for your
fantastic. And you offer military discounts year-round.
We offer a military discount, 20% off to active military year-round, police officers, firefighters in uniform. Anyone who comes in our restaurant that's a public service servant in their uniform, they get a 20% discount. And this weekend we're offering 20% discount to any military, active or inactive. So any veterans can come in and get a discount too.
All right, so go check them out. Get some good old Southern dressing while you are there. That looks good. Go to newschannel5.com if you'd like a copy of today's recipe, or if you'd like to order from the Front Porch in Dickson, order from their Thanksgiving takeout menu. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, Leland.